States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Clerk Gowick, roll call.
Alexander. Spitali.
Yes.
Venez.
Here.
Kowinski.
Here.
Salinas.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Emerson.
Here.
Rakos.
Here.
Warple.
Here, let the record show 8 present, 1 absent. Mayor?
Hi, Councilman. Thanks. December 22nd, 2025, Mayor's Address. I want to thank the 8 council people in attendance, as we still have important information and important things to do before the end of the year. So I appreciate the council having a second meeting this month. I know it's not very common that we have 2 in December, so I appreciate you all being here. I know today we have the data center development agreement extension. Obviously, we hope the council extends. If you'll indulge me for a couple minutes, I want to remind you how we got here in the first place. On June 3rd, 2025, 6 months ago, the city of Hammond entered into a development agreement with Decennial Group and CoreWeave for a new 450,000 square foot AI-focused data center on 25 acres at 301 Digital Crossroads Drive. The current development agreement expires on December 31st, 2025, which is why we're all talking today. Tonight, my administration is asking the Hammond Council to approve a 60-day extension to our original agreement. I want to point out that our original agreement does allow for unlimited extensions if all parties agree. This proposed extension was unanimously approved by the Hammond Redevelopment Commission last week. No terms of the deal are being changed. This is simply additional time to finalize remaining items. I want to go through a few of the parts that may be applicable. It's something we want to talk about. Project structure and investment. Decennial will construct the building. CoreWeave will be the sole tenant under a 20-year lease. CoreWeave is already operating an existing data center at 100 Digital Crossroads Drive and will continue operations there as well. This is a multi-billion-dollar investment, the largest in Hammond's history. Further establishes Hammond as the best data center location in Indiana, something I strongly believe in. City benefits and financial impact. We've already worked this out in the development agreement where the city of Hammond receives $4 million a year in community impact payments for the next 20 years for a total of $80 million. That revenue is more than enough to fully fund a college-bound scholarship program for the next 20 years, but that's something we all have to work out once this development agreement is entered into. Decennial is requesting a standard 10-year construction abatement, and CoreWeave is requesting a 20-year 100% technology deduction in accordance with Indiana law on their equipment, both at the existing site and at the new facility. That's standard protocol. For a large project, 10-year tax abatement, something we routinely cover. That's what Decennial is requesting. CoreWeave is getting 100% deduction, which is what makes Indiana so appealing to these data centers developers because we abate all the technology that they put into these facilities. Power agreement and ratepayer protection. Power negotiations are ongoing between Decennial and NIPSCO. I can confirm that a proposed power agreement was submitted last Friday by NIPSCO to Decennial and that discussions continue with all parties, including CoreWeave. The developer will pay for all infrastructure and electrical capacity. Hammond ratepayers will not be impacted. Additional development commitment. By holding firm to a tight 60-day extension, which we hope you'll all approve, the city has secured an additional $25 million lump sum commitment from the developer. That payment is currently being finalized and will be fully documented during this 60-day period. We intend to use those funds for capital improvement projects throughout the city of Hammond. It was pointed out that these payments need to go through a not-for-profit, so we're thinking of using HDC as a facilitator. If that does happen, there will be full transparency with the Hammond Council as to what these monies are being used for. Bottom line, this 60-day extension keeps the transformational project moving forward. The terms remain unchanged. The city is protected financially by doing so, and the benefits to Hammond are historic and long-term. So we will hope that you'll approve this extension. I don't know if you all have any questions about this before I go on with the rest of my report, or if I should do the rest of my report, Mr. President.
Councilman Kowinski.
Hi, Councilman Mark.
Hi, Mayor. So, CoreWeave and or Decennial are in negotiation with NIPSCO,
Yes, sir.
and they're going to pay all the infrastructure dollars to generate more electricity.
Yes, sir. They have to pay for the infrastructure, the additional like substations with transformers, circuit breakers, lines, and they also have to make a commitment because NIPSCO has to go out and find this power. So NIPSCO may find the power in Michigan, may find the power in Kansas at a wind farm. NIPSCO has to scout out this power for the next 20 years so that Decennial doesn't just skip town and leave NIPSCO holding the bag. So Decennial has to come up with $25 to $50 million, maybe more right now to NIPSCO so that NIPSCO could go out. And that's really what's been holding this whole project up, Councilman.
Here's my concern, and maybe it's not even warranted, but if they're paying for all this infrastructure, and if we start having issues with enough electricity at times for the county or for the city, will they have a special place to stay on and the residents get turned off?
I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure we're all on the same grid. I know we're all on the same grid, but even if the electrons that go to the data center could also flow to the city, but they're metered separately. That's more of an NIPSCO question, Councilman. I'm not an expert on the electrical grid, but I did used to work for NIPSCO. Everybody's on the same grid. Even Kansas is on the same grid as Hammond is on the same grid as Washington, D.C., and the electrons just flow freely, and they're metered. That's the difference. So if you put, even a solar house puts power onto the grid, you get paid for that because you put power onto the grid, so.
The reason I'm asking is it's a concern, and I've read that in Texas, they had a issue a few years ago, and I had a relative out there who
Yes, sir.
actually it was elderly and didn't have water, heat,
Right.
electricity, and he deteriorated and really didn't ever come back from that. But
sorry
what
to
I
hear that.
understand is the state of Texas was looking at state laws on the distribution of electric power to make sure residents would stay on primarily in the event there was another brownout, and if there wasn't enough at the time, that residents would be first, and then industry and data centers, et cetera, would come on as the power was there again.
Well, keep in mind that the data center also has emergency backup power because the power can't go out at these data centers. They have to have power. So if the electric grid fails, which it sometimes does, they're going to have backup generators and or battery power that'll help power that plant and keep it running because they can't lose power. Once they turn it on, it has to stay on. And another thing I want to point out, that something that slowed us down on this project is something NIPSCO's doing. I'm not sure if it's consistent with what's going on in Texas, but NIPSCO created a subsidiary called GenCo. GenCo only deals with data centers. So GenCo deals with data centers deal with GenCo, and even though we're fighting over the same electrons, data centers are treated separately in Indiana. I don't know if that's good or bad for the residents, but I do know that that held us up for quite a while, Councilman.
And then the $25 million bonus, when does that come to the city?
We're working on that right now.
I mean, do they have to be under construction
That's
first?
exactly what we're working on right now. I think they would prefer to have it as late as possible, and I think we would prefer to have it as early as possible. So that's sort of what we're disagreeing over
And
currently.
I'm not sure if you've had discussions about that, but will that go in the general fund?
It
or-
can't, it needs to go to a not-for-profit, that's one thing. I imagine they're using it for a tax write-off. But that's one thing these are things that we're discussing right now, Councilman.
Oh, so it would be nonprofit dollars?
Yes, sir. It would be for a not-for-profit. I imagine if I'm a company and I'm donating $25 million to a not-for-profit, they probably write it off on their books, right? Whereas if they gave it to us, I'm not sure if they get treated the same. It's above my pay grade, so. These are all being worked on, though, because right now, I think it's a verbal agreement. As it stands right now, I think they have to literally be open as a data center before we get paid, which is 2028, 2020, late 2027. I'd prefer to have it sooner, personally. So we're working on that, Councilman. Thank you for the questions.
Question, Mayor. So
Yes, sir.
this 25 million that Councilman asked about, this is part of the 60 days or not part of the 60-day agreement?
That's what we're going to be working on during the 60 days,
Because
Councilman.
if we're voting on it, it's not part of it.
Right now, it's not part of it, correct.
Okay, so it's not.
It's a verbal. It's a verbal, and we want to paper it. Verbal is great, but papering it up is much better.
Yeah, I
So
didn't see it in here. That's
it's
why
not
I
in
was
there.
thrown off as far as-
Right now,
You
the
mentioned
commitment
it.
over the next 20 years was in there. I want to congratulate my negotiating team for bringing up this signing bonus, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we're talking big numbers here. So I know 25 million is a lot of money. We all know 25 million is a lot of money, but this data center, when it's all built out, could be worth $6-7 billion. So 25 billion to people that are funding a $7 billion campus, it's not a lot of money. But I imagine they still want to write it off on their taxes. So we're going to work on these issues, Councilman.
Fantastic. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other
Anybody else?
questions?
Mr. President
Hi, Hi, Councilman.
and Mayor,
Councilman Tyler.
Ty.
excuse me, sorry I don't recall, what are the exact next steps? So like, if we do approve this extension, I know they need to formally enter into the actual agreement, terms of the agreement, and then what happens after that? Can they just start
I
building
think
it?
NIPSCO and them, until they get on the same page, so first off, 60 days. Is that enough to finish this agreement? I hope so. But we may be back here asking for another extension. There are unlimited extensions allowed in this. I'm not interested in unlimited extensions, council people. I want this thing done. And if this group can't get it done, let's get a group in here that can get it done. Because Hammond has the best data center location in the state of Indiana. So it's frustrating for me watching NIPSCO and Decennial fight over power. It's frustrating. We got the best location in the state. So I think if this 60-day window doesn't work out, Councilman, I think we should think long and hard about terminating this agreement and moving on personally, okay? But we do have a good agreement worked out for the city of Hammond, so I do want to see it get done. But if it's not, if they can't get it done, I'm seeing multi-billion-dollar deals get done all over the state, and we have a better piece of property. Yes, sir.
This is a bit of an aside.
It's okay. This is a big deal.
They're a hyperscaler, so they're large, bigger than usual.
CoreWeave?
And they're not they told us when they were here making the presentation that they were not going to use Lake Michigan water to cool the systems.
Right.
Do you know how they're gonna?
I think it's a jelly that they use now. When we first started our data center, it was water cooled, and they moved on technology-wise from that. So like if you look at, they're proposing a data center in Hobart. There's not water anywhere near that data center they're proposing in Hobart. So I think technology-wise, they've moved on to like a gel cooled. Is that what it is,
Yeah,
Councilman?
when we toured the facility with Rambo, I think his name was Rambo, he explained to us that it was all air handlers.
Air handlers?
All air handlers, and he actually showed us that part of the outside area. And I mean, it must have been over 50 air handlers.
But think about a day like today. Well, it's
Right.
not as cold today, but over the last week, our ambient temperature could have more than
And all
cooled
that
down.
equipment's encapsulated in,
Right.
you know,
Thank you.
behind glass and whatnot.
But I know that our current data center uses water, but I believe technology-wise, they've gone past that. But I still think we have the best location in the state, even though water is not necessarily a part of it anymore. Can I answer your question, Councilman Berry?
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
sorry, because my actual question was, if we do pass this extension, let's say that the agreement is agreed upon, what is the next step? Because for whatever reason, I thought I remembered that it would have to be brought back in front of us again before it could actually move forward. Is that the case or not?
I
Or-
imagine that's probably true. I imagine we'd probably have to go redevelopment again and council again, because there are going to be terms that are different in the new
Okay.
agreement. More lucrative for us, I hope. So
Okay.
I imagine there's no possibility of us not being back before you again, Councilman.
And then my only other question is, from an environmental standpoint, I know that we're saying that they likely wouldn't use water. But I was just reading a couple articles. I know all of the council got them, and there were a couple more. Because I'm kind of having this conversation with my full-time job in Chicago, too, about use of AI and the impact on the environment. Have we done, from our environmental department, have we done a study or come up with a set of guidelines of what we as a city deem fit, even if that's different than, what the state might say? Or we just pretty much go on in line with what the state is recommending in terms of the formation of data centers and what?
We don't have any
Guidelines they have to
separate
abide by.
criteria in
Okay.
Hammond that the state doesn't have now. That would be something that I imagine you guys would have to tackle. But if we were going to try to tackle something like that, I'd be very cautious so that we don't make ourselves unappealing, I mean, we're very appealing in Hammond to data centers because we're a stone's throw away from Chicago. It is surrounded by Lake Michigan, even though it's not used for cooling, but it did used to be a power plant. So when I first took over as mayor, that was a stinky, coal-burning power plant that people lived next to. So I think a data center is a welcome relief compared to what it was. So all I would ask, if we were going to start chewing on that type of issue, is we'd be very careful so we don't make ourselves unappealing, because this is transformational, what we're talking about. It's the kind of thing that could help us a lot, so.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I don't know if the rest of my colleagues will want the same thing, but just some type of environmental study or analysis of the impact of this center alone on our community or on the environment. I think that would be great if we could get that in partnership with this agreement, or at least, and I know they can't, maybe they can. I'm not a scientist. I don't necessarily fully understand all of this, but I would just like to be a part of that conversation if that does happen, or maybe whoever from your administration is having those conversations about the environmental impact, because I know you are. Just if we could get information about what the anticipated impact would be, and if there's anything.
I'm not sure there's much of an impact. If this new data center is not going to use water, there's no emissions, there's hardly any noise. I mean, I don't think it'd be very hard, so.
Yeah, I would love to just see that information, because if there is an impact, which I'm guessing there has to be some impact, then we as a council can decide if there's anything we need to do to try to counter that impact. So yeah, I would just love to see that, and like I said, be a part of.
But there's nothing like that, first of all, okay?
Not right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, all I ask is to not make us so unappealing that they just skip us and go to Gary, or they skip us and go to East Chicago, and East Chicago gets to reap in hundreds of millions of dollars that could have come here. That's all I'm saying. So we're very appealing right now. I sympathize with you, and I appreciate your points, but just be careful, that's all I'm saying, okay? Any other questions on data centers? The rest of my report will be pretty easy. We good? I can move on? Okay. Summary of mayor's schedule for the last 2 weeks. Met with Kelly Talon, the CEO of the Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce, regarding the date and the venue locales for the 2026 mayoral State of the City. It's usually done in conjunction with the Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce. Spoiler alert, it's going to be on January 29th, 2026 at the Hammond Sportsplex. So we're coming to the 3rd district for it this year. Met with the Hammond Police Department regarding an incident that happened on 6434 Calumet Avenue, which is Star Paws Puppies. I'm not sure if Councilman Barry heard about it, but if you want to update, I'm more than willing to tell you about what happened. We're trying to deal with it right now. It's not doesn't make me happy when people aren't nice to the Hammond Police Department, so.
Sorry, Mayor, what was that address?
6434 Calumet Avenue. That's the puppy location.
Okay.
Met with Kevin Roach and his executive team at Laborers Local 41, Union Hall in Munster. It's always good to catch up with the union in charge of a lot of our employees. Meeting with Councilwoman Janet Venez regarding issues regarding different city departments. Attended meetings with representatives from Core Construction in regards to the services they want to offer to the city of Hammond. Met with Tiffany Shelton, Hammond's 4th District, Tony Hopprich, Hammond's 5th District, and Don Tomich, Hammond's 6th District, about their reappointment to and the roles they play on the Hammond Redevelopment Commission. Attended a meeting with the team planning the 2026 ICSC conference booth layouts and focus. Met with Monica Rubio and Mike Dye regarding their reappointment to and the roles they play on the Hammond Sanitary District Board of Directors. Met with former Councilman Michael Pinker regarding his reappointment to and the role he plays on the Hammond Park Board. Met with Sharon Daniels and Paul Walker about their reappointment to and the roles they play on the Hammond Water Department Board of Directors. Met with a potential customer of the new Hammond Data Center, hopefully, customer that wants to be part of the Hammond Data Center regardless of what happens in the current situation. I choose not to divulge who I met with, okay? I'll tell you guys one-on-one, but I don't feel like doing it on the record. If you guys have a question, please call me, okay? I don't think it's right to do it on the record, but it's nice to know that there's a lot of interest in our data center site, okay? Attended Hammond's annual employee holiday party at the Hammond Civic Center. I know there was a number of council people there. I appreciate you all being there, and I know the employees love to see you guys there. So thanks for coming by. We had over 500 employees and our spouses in attendance. Food was supplied by Freddy's Steakhouse and was great. It was great gifts, great giveaways. I thought everybody had a real good time, so I appreciate everybody that participated with that. Although I wasn't able to attend this swearing in, I was very happy to see the Hammond Police Department swear in the most diverse class of officers I've seen as mayor. 10 brand new police officers joined the ranks of the Hammond PD. Welcome to the force. I usually always make those. I was out of town for that one. I couldn't attend. I attended a CLE in Indianapolis on Indiana governmental affairs, talking about all the stuff going on in the General Assembly. While I was there, I had my second meeting of the month with Governor Braun. Pretty So anyway, it was nice talking to him about economic development projects in our city, important economic development projects. Last but not least, attended the South Shore Convention and Visitors Bureau Christmas party at the Indiana Welcome Center with the former chief of staff of mine, Phil Talon, in attendance. He's running it now, and I appreciate everything that's going on there. That's all I got, unless you all have more questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, appreciate you all. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Mayor.
Good to see you guys. Thanks.
Item number 4, approval of minutes.
Make a motion that we accept the minutes from the December 8th meeting and place them on file.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Salinas, seconded by Councilman Emerson. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 5, approval of minutes. I'm sorry, approval of claims.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
I move for approval of claims dated December 3rd, 2025, and ending with claims dated December 17th, 2025, claim number 11028 through claim number 11396 inclusive, in the amount of $12,161,709.77.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilwoman Vines, seconded by Councilman Rakos. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Golick, roll call.
Alexander. Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kowinski.
Yes.
Salinas.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Rakos.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes, let the record show the motion carries 8 in favor, 1 absent. Item number 6, public hearings.
Item A, an ordinance to appropriate monies into the 2025 Gaming Fund, sponsored by Councilwoman Vines.
Does anybody wish to speak on this issue? Does anybody wish to speak on this issue? Last time, does anybody wish to speak on this issue? Hearing none, public hearings are now closed. Item number 7, communications. Does anybody have any communications?
Mr. President,
Councilman Rakos.
we'd like to thank Clerk Golick and all the Hammond City Council that contributed to the holiday food giveaway, American Legion Post 168. It was on December 16th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. They want to thank us for the contributions and the sponsorship.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything under communications? Does anybody else have anything under communications? Hearing none, communications are now closed. Item number 8, committee reports. Councilwoman Vines.
Yes, Mr. President. I'd like to announce one community meeting that's coming up, and that is the Jefferson Crime Watch on Tuesday, January 13th, 6 p.m. At Jefferson School. I'd like to also thank everyone who came, who participated in and came to pick up their Ring doorbell. This was a great program for the safety of our city and our neighborhood, so I thank everyone who participated in that. And on behalf of all the community and Crime Watch groups, we'd like to wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and have safe holidays. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because community is not just about me, it's about us. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Councilman Salinas.
there was no capital improvement board meeting on December 14th, so there was nothing to report.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Councilwoman Vines.
Yes. Council as a whole will be bringing out 2533, 2534, 2535, 2536.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything under committee reports? Anybody else have anything under committee reports? Hearing none, committee reports are now closed. Item number 9, ordinances, third reading, final passage.
Ordinance 25-33, sponsored by Mayor McDermott. An ordinance fixing the salaries for elected city officials for the city of Hammond, Indiana, commencing January 1, 2026. Be it ordained by the Common Council of the city of Hammond, Indiana.
Mr. President,
Councilman Rakos.
I'd like to pass final passage and adoption of 2533.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Rakos, seconded by Councilwoman Vines. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Rakos.
includes a 2% raise for the mayor, the clerk, and the city council people.
Does anybody else have anything on the, I'm sorry, is there any further discussion? Is there any further discussion? Is there any further discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call.
Alexander. Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kowinski.
Yes.
Salinas.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Rakos.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes, let the record show, 8 in favor, 1 absent.
Ordinance 25-34, sponsored by Councilwoman Vines. An ordinance to appropriate monies into the 2025 gaming fund.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman
I
Vines.
move for final passage of 2534.
Motion's been made by Councilwoman Vines, seconded by Councilman Spitali. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
yes, this is an annual cleanup. Whoever sneezed, God bless you. This cleanup should have been done earlier in the year, but we're doing it just now in time for the end of the year. So, thank you.
Is there anybody, or is there any further discussion? Is there any further discussion? Is there any further discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call.
Alexander. Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kowinski.
Yes.
Salinas.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Rakos.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes, let the record show, the motion carries, 8 in favor, 1 absent.
Ordinance 25-35, sponsored by Councilwoman Vines. An ordinance authorizing the city controller to transfer funds from one line item to another within various city 2025 budgets.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
I move for final passage of 2535.
Motion has been made by Councilwoman Vines, seconded by Councilman Spitali. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
once again, this is an annual cleanup, moving items from one line item to another at the end of the year.
Does anybody else have any further discussion? Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Golick, roll call.
Alexander. Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kowinski.
Yes.
Salinas.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Rakos.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes, let the record show, the motion carries, 8 in favor, 0 opposed.
Ordinance 25-36, sponsored by Councilman Rakos. An ordinance respecting and ratifying the actions of the City of Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety related to traffic regulations for 2025.
Mr. President,
Councilman Rakos.
move for final passage and adoption of 25-36.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Rakos, seconded by Councilwoman Vines. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Rakos.
specifically, like the title says, we're ratifying the actions of the Hammond Board of Works. There's only a few of them here. One-way streets and alley, 1200 block of Truman, it looks like it was deleted. Resident-only parking, 173rd Place. and 174th Street, Tapper to Calumet, 167th from Alabama west to Alley, both sides of the street, and prohibited parking, in other words, no parking at 69 and 7,000 block of Parish.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call.
Alexander. Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Salinas.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Rakels.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes, let the record show, 8 in favor, 0 opposed.
President Warple, that concludes the ordinances for final passage.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Item number 10, introduction of ordinances. There are none. Item number 11, resolutions.
Resolution 25R-26, sponsored by Councilwoman Vines. A resolution of the Hammond Common Council approving the First Amendment to the development agreement among the City of Hammond, Indiana, the City of Hammond Redevelopment Commission, 301 Digital Crossroads, LLC, Decennial Group, LLC, and CoreWeave Incorporated regarding the project at 100 Digital Crossroads Drive.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
I move for final passage of 25R-26.
Motion has been made by Councilwoman Vines, seconded by Councilman Spitali. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
Mayor outlined exactly what this resolution is. Back in June, we approved an agreement between Decennial and CoreWeave and for a $450,000 AI-focused data center at 301 Digital Crossroads in Hammond. The timeline for that agreement expires December 30th of this year, and both Decennial and CoreWeave are asking for a 60-day extension of the agreement so they can complete their negotiations.
Is there any further discussion? Is there any further discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Kowinski.
thank you. Just a quick correction. It's not approximately $450,000. It's 450,000 square foot for the data center.
I beg your pardon.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call.
Alexander. Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Salinas.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Rakels.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes, let the record show the motion carries, 8 in favor, 0 opposed.
President Warple, that concludes the reading of the resolutions.
Thank you. New and unfinished business. I guess I'll go first. The last council meeting of the year, and Christmas coming, and the new year coming. I just want everybody to take a moment and realize that no matter what you see out there in this world, an addict, whatever, rather than ridicule them, realize that they're going through a lot. And I can say this with firsthand knowledge. No matter what you're going through, if you give it time, it does get better. So I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And give the ones you love a hug.
There you go. Anybody else got anything they'd like to say?
Mr. President,
Councilman Tyler.
I know our colleague, Councilwoman Alexander, is not here right now. She is over at the Civic Center handing out toys and holiday treats for youth. So just want to congratulate her on her 5th annual holiday treats giveaway. And thank you for all the families that signed up. The event is going on until 7 o'clock. So if you RSVP'd and have not made it over there, you still have time to get over there and pick up your toys for your little ones. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else got anything under new and unfinished? Anybody else got anything under new and unfinished business? Hearing none, we'll go to public expression, and I'll remind everybody this is 3 minutes for the public to say what they want uninterrupted. Our first speaker is Tom Kazmierzak, and the topic is general complaints.
Happy holidays, council. Issue came up this weekend that I thought about potentially doing it in a more private setting at first, but I figured the best way to do it is to address the council and my councilman specifically to put it on the record. So go Bears. Everybody have a wonderful Christmas.
You win one game every 20 years and you got to listen to it. The next speaker is Mary Shones, and it says budget priorities.
Hi, good evening. We talk about like budget priorities and like shortfalls and, we need money, right? I mean, every city needs money, of course, but I don't know, we seem to have plenty of money actually, because we have, $20 million that we can appropriate for a pedestrian bridge where it's not needed to get speedier access to emergency services that no longer exist. So what are we doing, right? So at a recent Mayor's Night Out event, there was, the mayor said that funding had not been secured to prevent kids from crawling under the trains at Grand Avenue, which is a problem. We can all agree that that's a problem. However, we do have thousands of dollars to put around fencing around Briar East Woods because the citizens of the residents who were concerned wanted to pick up trash over there. And so we do have money for some things. We don't have money for other things. And so earlier this year, when I first got a message saying that this was, this Briar East, I'd been checked out. I had not been paying attention to what has been happening in my city. And what I saw on that February was after the day after the Super Bowl was the overflow area was overflowed. The more people know about what the mayor wants to do with the city, to cut down 32 acres of old growth forest and endanger the residents of the Hessville area. The more people know about it, the less they like it, which is why a lot of the Mayor's Night Outs events, particularly the ones in the 6th District, are curated to make it look like no one cares about that anymore. And we do. We should care. If we cut these down, climate change is happening, we're going to be in trouble. And I realize that the things that I've been concerned about nationally are happening right here in Hammond. We have, well, first of all, I want to pivot to something else. I want to thank Councilman Tyler and Councilman Kowinski for at least asking some questions about this proposed AI data center. What good is $25 or $50 million if it drives up our electricity bills and we can't drink the water? What do we do then? If a company has $25 or $50 million to toss our way, why aren't they meaningfully contributing to our tax base? We should think very hard about what we do for the future of the city. Should we not approve anything without an independent environmental review? because whatever we do here will impact our environment for a long time to come, long after your tenure on this council has ended. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hate meetings with a passion. I imagine some of you all do too. But important things happen in boring meetings. And I want to make it a priority to find out what's going on in my city. Thank you.
Got it in. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.